It was by a slim margin that Maine passed a referendum back in 2016 legalizing the adult use of marijuana. Since then, it has become a $100 million industry, and a new ballot initiative is moving to change the laws and set marijuana legislation back almost to how it was 10 years ago. News Center Maine's Pearl Small explains.
But this is someone who doesn't just have an opinion that is not based on experience.
Senior pastor Travis Carey of Calvary Chapel in Greater Portland says his negative view of marijuana comes from being a recovering addict himself and helping dozens of others through the church.
Almost, if not all of them, will say marijuana was a gateway drug.
While Carey wanted to make it clear this opinion is his own, not reflective of the church as a whole, he and his wife were happy to become petitioners on a ballot initiative to close the recreational cannabis market in Maine.
And I would argue the gateway is the person that you purchase the cannabis from. Perhaps they have other drugs they would also like to sell you. When I go into the cannabis store, I'm only offered cannabis.
Republican State Representative for Poland, David Boyer, led the statewide petition for legalization back in 2016. This new petition, which was approved by the Secretary of State this week, would reverse a lot of Boyer's work. It would close hundreds of Maine cannabis stores, wiping out most ways to buy it legally. Growing it yourself in your home would also become illegal again. One of the only things that stays legal is possessing up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis for personal use.
So they're okay with Mainers having it, but they want to force them to the illicit market, I guess.
One of the big drivers for the petition was a lack of oversight on the industry, citing safety concerns about potency and how marijuana is tested, tracked, and traced. Boyer says while those concerns are valid, they've been working on reform.
We're not going to have our arms around it if we make it all illegal, right?
It's one of those things where it just shows how it's not well thought out.
From a dispensary owner's perspective, Paul McCarrier, founder of One Mill in Belfast, believes it'll cause more problems than it'll solve.
Think about all the people that have mortgage payments, that have car payments, that would be losing their jobs from this.
Representative Boyer says Maine's cannabis industry supports more than 10,000 jobs. It also brought in more than $40 million in tax revenue last year, and that number, according to the state's Revenue Forecasting Committee, was expected to be steady for at least the next 5 years. This petition could obviously change that, but even if it fails, Pastor Carey says he hopes it inspires some sort of reform.
I would rather it be completely prohibited. If not, let's at least have stricter regulations.
If the petition gets about 70,000 signatures by February 2nd, it'll go to voters in November of 2026. In Westbrook, Pearl Small, News Center, Maine.